Deep inside a cave in southern France, there's a painting of a horse. It's not crude. It's not a stick figure. The artist used shading to make the horse's muscles look real. They used the natural bumps in the cave wall to make the animal look three-dimensional in flickering torchlight. That painting is over 30,000 years old. Older than the pyramids, older than writing, older than farming, older than the wheel. Someone crawled hundreds of feet into pitch-black darkness, by torchlight, to paint something no one may have ever needed to see again. Why? Stick around, because the answer might change how you think about what it actually means to be human. This is the story of the first artists on Earth, and the surprisingly deep reason they picked up a paintbrush. In 1994, 3 explorers were hiking through southern France when they felt a draft coming from a pile of rocks. They cleared the rubble. Behind it, a hidden cave entrance, sealed shut for over 20,000 years. Inside, they found something that shouldn't have existed. Hundreds of paintings, lions, rhinos, horses, cave bears, painted with a level of skill that looked modern. This became known as Chauvet Cave, and it broke a lot of assumptions scientists had. Before this, the theory was simple. Early human art started crude and basic, and slowly got better over tens of thousands of years, the same way a child's drawing improves with age. Chauvet Cave blew that up. Some of these paintings are the oldest ever found, and they're also some of the most skilled. Artists were using shading, perspective, and even a technique where they'd scrape away the cave wall's outer layer to make the color underneath pop. In other words, the very first artists we know of were already really good at this. Which raises the real question. Not how did they make this art? Why? Here's the first thing that throws people off. These paintings weren't in living spaces. Early humans weren't cooking dinner next to these walls or raising kids in these rooms. Many of these paintings are found deep inside cave systems, spots that required crawling, climbing, sometimes squeezing through gaps barely wide enough for a human body. Some paintings in Chauvet Cave are found nearly 1,600 feet from the entrance. That's a quarter mile of total darkness, navigated by torchlight, just to paint on a wall almost no one would ever walk past. This wasn't a living room mural. This was something people went out of their way, a dangerous, deliberate journey, to create. So what does that tell us? It tells us this almost certainly wasn't just decoration. You don't crawl a quarter mile into darkness to make your home look nice. This was something else. Something that mattered enough to risk your life in a cave system with zero light and unpredictable air. So, if it wasn't decoration, what was it? Scientists have a few strong theories, and just like with the Neanderthals, the honest answer is probably some mix of all of them. Theory 1. Ritual and spirituality. Many researchers believe these caves were used for ceremonies, maybe rites of passage, maybe attempts to communicate with spirits or ancestors. Some paintings are layered, painted over and painted again, over centuries, by different people, in the same spot. That suggests these weren't just images. They were sacred places, visited again and again. Theory 2. Hunting magic. This is one of the oldest theories, and it still holds up. The idea is that painting an animal, especially painting it in a certain way, like with spears drawn through it, or in mid-hunt, was believed to influence the real hunt, a kind of visual prayer for success before a dangerous mammoth or bison hunt. Theory 3. Storytelling and memory. Some anthropologists believe these paintings functioned like an early form of storytelling, passing down knowledge about animal behavior, migration patterns, or tribal history to younger generations. Long before written language, images were how you preserved what mattered. Theory 4. Something even stranger, sound. This one surprises people. Researchers have found that the most heavily painted spots in several caves are also the spots with the best natural acoustics, places where a human voice, drum, or chant would echo and resonate the most. Some scientists think early humans found these acoustic sweet spots first by sound in complete darkness and painted where the sound felt most powerful. Think about that for a second. They may have been mapping their world through sound before they ever picked up a paintbrush. Theory 5. Handprints, the most personal art of all. Across cave sites worldwide, you'll find something even more haunting than the animals: hand stencils. A person pressed their hand against the wall and blew pigment around it, leaving a negative outline. That's not abstract. That's not symbolic in some distant way. That's a real person, tens of thousands of years ago, saying, in the most direct way possible, "I was here." Here's why this matters more than most people realize. For a long time, art was treated like a bonus feature of being human, something that came later, after survival was figured out. Food first, shelter first. Art, if there was time left over. But the evidence doesn't support that at all. Art shows up at the exact same time as some of the earliest evidence of complex human thought: symbolic behavior, long-term memory, planning, belief in something beyond the physical world. In other words, art isn't something we added onto being human. Art might be one of the very things that made us human in the first place. Every animal can hunt. Many animals can use basic tools. But no other species on Earth crawls a quarter mile into pitch darkness to paint something it may never see again, purely because the act itself means something. That instinct, to create meaning, to leave a mark, to say, "I was here," in a way that could outlast your own lifetime, that's uniquely us. And it's been uniquely us for at least 30,000 years, maybe longer. Here's the detail that still gets researchers. When scientists measured many of the handprints found in caves across Europe, a striking number of them turned out to be small. Some researchers believe a significant portion may belong to teenagers, possibly even children, which means some of the greatest, oldest art on Earth might not have been made by elite master painters. It might have been made by a kid, sneaking into the dark with their family, dipping a small hand in pigment, and leaving proof that they existed. 30,000 years later, it worked. We're still talking about them. So the next time you scroll past a piece of art, or a photo, or anything you've made that feels small, remember, somewhere in the dark, tens of thousands of years ago, someone crawled through solid rock in complete darkness just to leave proof that they were here. That instinct never left us. We just found better lighting. If you want the next video in this series, the mystery of why early humans buried their dead with tools, food, and jewelry, as if they expected them to need it, hit subscribe because that one's even stranger.